It's about the wrestlers with your host, Crazy Joe, on the Totalchaospecaw.
We are back. This is Totalchaospecaw, and my special guest tonight is Max Falcon. How are you doing tonight, Max?
Doing all right.
And so, tell our listeners where you're located from.
Right now I'm in Las Vegas, Nevada.
And tell our listeners how you wanted to be a wrestler.
From the beginning?
Yes.
Okay. So started out in Piqua, Ohio. Went to a fairground, and they had some guys passing out some fantasy camp flyers for people that wanted to get in the ring and just see how it was and come to their show. If you went to the fantasy camp, which was like $20, you got in the show for free that night. And I saw them perform in my hometown, but never got a chance to go to it. And they came up to me and talked to me, and so I finally went to the fantasy camp. Had a blast at the fantasy camp. By the way, I was 19 years old, just got out of high school. And so I went to the fantasy camp. There was a total of 50 people that showed up for the fantasy camp. Went to the show. The show was amazing. And then afterwards, I helped tear down the ring. First time I ever saw the bottom of the ring and how it looked. There is no springs. For those who think there's springs underneath the ring, there are no springs. It's just 2x4s, metal, and a little bit of padding. So get that out of the way. And then the next day, that night they said if you want to come and actually start training, come to our training facility the next day. And about 50 of us did. And about 4 months after that, I was the only one left that was there. And then by that time next year, I was training the fantasy camp. I was teaching for the next upcoming people.
And so why did you want to be a wrestler?
Ever since I was 3 years old, that's all I ever wanted to do. I watched Undertaker versus Yokozuna in a coffin match. It's the earliest match I can remember. And ever since then, I told everybody I'm going to be a pro wrestler when I grow up. I'm going to be a pro wrestler when I grow up. And the only person that ever believed me was my grandmother. She told me, well, if that's what you want to do, then go ahead and do it. So
can you tell our listeners who trained you?
Oh, that's a long list. That's a long list of people.
We got all night.
All right. So when I first started, the company I started with was called, they're still around, it's called Dynamic Championship Wrestling, and they're based around Dayton, Ohio. And at the time, they had the Irish Airborne. I don't know if you ever heard of them or not, the Dave and Jay Chris. They were in Ring of Honor for a long time. They were the tag team champions of the year, a few years running. I think from 02 to 06, they were the tag champs of the year. So Dave Chris, he basically took me under his wing for the first couple of years. And as I was also there, Big Jim Hutchison and Tommy Blaze, they helped me out when I was there. And then the Irish Airborne left, and then Matt Ryan and Sean Draven, they helped me. They're also still there. If any of you fans are there in Ohio, go ahead and check them out. They're still there at DCW. Then I came out here to Vegas, and since I've been out in Vegas, I've got Michael Modest. He was in WCW and trained a few of the guys that are in WWE right now. He was training me for the first 2 years. Right now, I am training underneath Disco Inferno and Kenny King. Those two guys, I'm pretty good friends with Kenny King. And Disco Inferno, every Tuesday is disco class. And see, Matt Hardy's came out a couple times. Shelton Benjamin's came out a couple times. But the main people it's Michael Modest, Kenny King, and Disco Inferno are the ones that's been training me the last couple of years.
So tell our listeners about your training. Is it
Uh,
easy? Easy,
well,
hard?
right now, it's been getting easier. I came out here in 2013, and like I said, I had some experience. I had about 3 years under my belt, but I was about 4 years inactive because I joined the military. So I was a little rusty, but they gave me my shot. About 2 months later, they started putting me on the show. So Michael Modest, he's very old school. He's very he likes to make it look really real, because wrestling is real. He's all about shoot wrestling, but also being safe. And here recently, I've been trained by Disco Inferno. Disco, he's all about easy stuff, all back to the basics. Because nowadays, everyone forgets about the basic stuff. Just last week we were training about punches. That's all we did for 2 hours. We just punched, did heel stuff and punch. And because if you look at the stuff that's on WWE and TNA nowadays, they forget about the easy stuff. They forget about the punches. They forget about the kicks. They don't really pay attention to it. So he wants us to be different than everybody else in the indie business. He wants people to see the stuff that everyone overlooks. He wants us to be very crisp about it. So
Did you ever wanted to give up?
no. Like I said, I had those 4 years where I was overseas in Germany and Korea, and I was always beating up my buddies, or I was always talking about wrestling. Like, everybody knows me as the wrestler. No matter what, until I'm dead, I will not get out of the wrestling business. If I can't wrestle no more, I'll become a manager. If I can't walk no more, I'll be a promoter. If I can't promote, then I'll own the company. I will always be in the wrestling business. And at the time, I was like 180, 5'11", 6 foot. He was about 6'7", and I get out there really nervous, and he like gets up on the top rope, looks at everybody. I was supposed to Pearl Harbor him, but he didn't. He was supposed to look away. He didn't really look away. He was looking at me the whole time, so I couldn't really Pearl Harbor him. I didn't really know what I was supposed to do. I was supposed to okay, I'm gonna Pearl Harbor this guy once he stops looking at me. He never stopped looking at me. So he jumped off the ropes, came and gave me a Gorilla Vader bomb splash, picked me up, power bombed me, and 1, 2, 3. That was my first match. So it wasn't the greatest first match, but I got revenge, because later on, about 4 months later, he was in a titles match, title versus title, and the title he had was we called the High Octane title. It was kind of like a hardcore title. You could win it anywhere at any time. As long as there's a referee, you could win it. So he was in the match, and he did a double clothesline with the guy he was wrestling. They were both down, doing a double down. I saw my opportunity. I ran out there, put on my mask real quick, and I ran out there. I slid in, I pinned him, held him on real tight. 1, 2, 3, I grabbed his title, and I ran out. And that's how I won my first title, too, by the way. So I got revenge, and I got my first title on the same guy. So
That's pretty cool.
yeah, I held that title for probably 8 months, and I lost it to Jay Chris. That's who I lost to. I wrestled Jay Chris a few times in the ring, but I never wrestled Dave. And it's so funny. I got sweep chin super kicked and down here in the jaw, but somehow I had a bruise on my forehead the next morning. I don't know how. Or today I don't know how that happened, but I got kicked here and a bruise here. I lost the title that night, but it was really cool to wrestle him. He was a great guy to wrestle, and wrestled him a few times after that as well.
And tell our listeners about your first tag team match.
My first tag team match was with Big Jim Hutchison. Big Jim Hutchison wrestles for a few people in Dayton. He wrestled in ECW for a little bit, wrestled Tommy Dreamer a few times. It was me and him, and I forget who we were wrestling. I think the time was the tag champs, and I was still inexperienced. I didn't really do much. I just remember that they attacked me a few times, knocked me down in the ring, and then they double teamed him. And by the time I got up to help him, they already gave him their finisher, and it was 1, 2, 3. So I really couldn't do anything on that. I haven't had many tag matches. Most of the time I've been heel when I was in Ohio. so not many people wanted to be my tag partner. I cheated to win when I was a heel, and I didn't really care. I had a manager for a little while. He helped me win. But now that I've been out here in Vegas, I changed a new leaf. I am, American soldier, Max Falcon, a good guy, and I'm still looking for that tag partner. I've been trying to tag up with some of the guys I know, but we'll see what's going to happen in the future.
And so, to our listeners, if I was a new wrestler, what would you tell me? What advice would you give me?
Okay. I was waiting for this answer, or this question. Follow your dream no matter what. If you really want to do it, and you have to really want to do it, it's just like anything else in the world. If you want to be a teacher, if you want to be a fireman, or if you want to be a police officer, you have to put your whole heart and soul into it. You can't half-ass it. You have to do it completely. Now, later on down the road, things happen where you have to give up a little bit, but if you really want to do it, you'll do whatever it takes. Like, I just had a buddy of mine, he just got out of the military, and he wanted to start pro wrestling. And, I told him, I was like, are you sure? He's like, yeah. I was like, wrestling ain't fake like they say it on TV. It's going to hurt. He goes, I can handle it. I'm like, okay. And so he searched around and found a wrestling place close to him, and that's the one thing you gotta look for. You gotta look for a good wrestling company. My advice on that would be go to the show, check it out, see how it looks, see how the fans are, see how the wrestlers are, talk to the wrestlers, just get the morale of the wrestlers in the back afterwards. See, if it's a family, or if they all just leave, or do they all hang out afterwards, and then if everything is good and you're liking everything, then go to them and say, hey, I want to learn how to wrestle, and go from there. But it's going to be rough. Believe me, it's going to be rough. Like I said, when I first started, there was 50 of us, and I was the only one after 50, so it isn't for everybody.
So how would I pay my dues and all that?
Paying dues are easier than what people think they are. Paying your dues, when I first started out, is showing up early, setting up the ring, staying late, tearing down the ring, passing out flyers, selling tickets, helping selling T-shirts during the show or during intermission, getting the word out, promoting, getting people to come to the show. If one of the veterans asks you a question or asks for help for something, help them. If you see them struggling, or you see, I wouldn't say you have to carry their bags, because you really don't, but just show them respect. They'll show you respect. Listen, keep your mouth shut when it comes time for training, and you'll get the respect. Because right now I have Kenny King, Alcatraz, some of the other guys, Matt Hardy, they all know me. They respect me. I respect them because I listen to them and I do as they say, and I show them respect. So it's all about respect.
I heard rumors that locker rooms, like the new guys, should go around shaking all the veterans' hands. Is that true?
Yes. First thing you do, and I told this to my little brother when he came to visit one time, and I tell this to some of the new people that we have. The first thing you do when you come into a wrestling arena or training facility or a show or whatever, you go and you introduce yourself. You go, hi, my name is Max. That's all you gotta do. But you go around to everybody, even the sisters, the daughters, the wives, the brothers, the grandmothers. If you get there, let's say call time's 5 o'clock. Show don't start till 7. Call time's 5 o'clock. You show up and there's 10 people in there. There's kids, there's wives, there's brothers, and then there's the wrestlers. You go to the first person. It doesn't matter if it's the mother, the brother, the sister. Say, hi, I'm Max. And you just go around until you see everybody and say, hi, I'm Max. That's all you got to do. And that will show respect to everybody. And if you don't do that, believe me, they pay attention. They know. Because somebody will come up to you and tell you to do it.
So if you had to wrestle anybody from the past, who would you want to wrestle?
My favorite wrestler is Sting. I would love to wrestle Sting or Ric Flair. Those are my two. I met Ric Flair here in Vegas. Actually got permission to use some of his moves, which I was using them already. But it was kind of cool to just get his permission. But yeah, it would be Sting and then or Ric Flair.
And what about a tag team match?
Tag team, it'd probably be somebody hardcore. I would say probably the Hardys or the Booker T and Stevie Ray, Harlem Heat.
If you had to pick a partner, who would your partner be?
Macho Man. Macho Man. Macho Man for sure. Yeah.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
If you do you have a favorite place where you like to wrestle?
No, I mean, no, because I've wrestled a lot of different places. Casinos are here. We wrestle in casinos. That's pretty cool. But I've wrestled a lot of places. I like to wrestle anywhere where there's a crowd. If there's at least 50 to 100 people, and I can get them either cheering or booing me, I'm doing my job, and that's all I care about. It's like for people that played football or people that have wrestled in high school or done any sports, when you get that adrenaline rushing and you get the crowd cheering or booing you, that's the feeling that so it doesn't matter how many people or where it's at. As long as I get that feeling, I can do it.
And it looks like you respect the business.
Yes.
And I respect you, because some of the guys I talk to, some of the other co-hosts, they don't respect the business. They think it's all about them.
You're right. No, I trained a guy. His name is Nathan Karn or Crabman. I don't know if you've seen his webcast or heard about him. I trained him to be a wrestler. It didn't work out, so I trained him to be a referee, and he was a pretty good referee for a while. And he made some mistakes when I was in Germany. He started up his own company, which is nothing wrong with that, Start up your own company. By all means, go for it. But there's a thing called respect and territories. The territories are basically gone now, but you still have to have respect for the other company. You don't book shows in the same town on the same night as another wrestling company. You don't book shows in the same town when you can go book in another town 2 minutes away or 10 minutes away on a different night. Because what you're doing is you can utilize the same talent and make both the shows look good instead of trying to beat or take somebody's money and fans. Because at the end of the day, all that promoter's trying to do is make money. And why would you try to take somebody else's money? That's just disrespectful. I was taught very old school, and I was taught territories and respect and everything. And I know that wrestling isn't like that anymore to a point, but still to a point, it's respect. And I finally got to him and finally got in his head, and he stopped, and now he's doing his own thing, and he's doing a lot better. But there are some people, like you said, that just don't get it. So.
Yeah, because I know a couple of people, and they think it's all about them, when it's really about you, the girls, the referee, the people who put up the ring and everything else, sell the tickets, play the music. You know what I mean?
This is the first thing I was told when first day I walked in. The number one thing to do in a wrestling business, the number one thing to do is put asses in the seats. If you can put asses in the seats, you're doing your job. That's it. It's not about us. It's about the fans. As long as we're putting fans to come see you, you're doing your job. If you're all about you're not doing your job. Your job is to entertain. Your job is to put on a good show for the fans. So we appreciate the fans for appreciating us and respecting us and coming to see us. But if we don't respect y'all, then you're not going to come see us, and then we're losing money for ourselves, and we're losing money for the booker and the promoter, and then there's not going to be a show. I mean,
And Max, tell us about some of the other wrestling companies you worked. Like, what's your favorite wrestling company you like to work with?
Well, I'll always say that my home and my first place was Dynamic Championship Wrestling. That's based down in Ohio. they're the ones that got me my start. They're the ones that gave me my opportunity. They're the ones that trained me mostly. So they're, home big in my heart on that. But I've had a lot of fun in my company I'm in now. It's called Future Stars of Wrestling, FSW. It's here in Vegas. They've, like I said, they've also gave me the opportunity, and I met a lot of cool people I thought I never would meet. For example, Disco Inferno. Didn't think I'd ever meet him ever in my entire life, or ever get in the ring with him and beat him up a little bit. That, to me, as a little kid, being a big, huge WCW fan, absolutely hated Disco when I was a kid, and I always had fantasized of beating him up, and the NWO and all that. So to get in the ring with him for the first time and give him a good old forearm shot, it was like the little kid in my head was just jumping up and down, like, yes, we did it, finally. So those are my two main companies I've wrestled for. I just started wrestling or being a part of Freak Show Wrestling with Sim Bodie, the guy that was in WWE, and TNA, and I think WCW maybe. He has his own company called Freak Show Wrestling, and it's based in LA. We just had a show last weekend here in Vegas, and last year he was here. I was a part of that too in Vegas. And we have another show coming up, if anybody's in the East LA area, on July 4th. We have another freak show. It's America F Yeah tour, I guess he's doing. So I'm really excited about doing that again. So this will be my third time being with him. Sim Bodie is another guy that trained me for a little bit, and he looks crazy, but he's a really cool dude and really down to earth and same thing, old school respects like that. And he also trained Bray Wyatt, which is another cool dude that I'd love to meet. He's a really cool guy too.
So tell our listeners about whoever never seen the company Freak Show. Tell our listeners about the company, what it's about.
All right, Freak Show Wrestling is unique. It's dark carnival, funny, humor, sexual, but at the same time you could bring your kids to, older kids, teenager kids to. For example, they had a match. They had the ghost of Michael Jackson with it wasn't a chimpanzee, but it was a gorilla. That gorilla, by the way, was a really cool guy. Came out to be a referee for, it was a skunk versus Eyeball Man. And they did a match, and then the next match was a mime versus a one-man wolf pack, which the one-man wolf pack was the guy from Hangover, the guy with the baby, the beard. It was him versus the mime in an invisible steel cage match. So we had that, and then we had what else do we have? They had the guy that created Gar. He is in Destructo. He wrestles for them. And then we have Andrea the Giant. She wrestles for them. Looks like Andrea the Giant, tall-wise. But they just have they have props. They involve props and the ghost of Whitney Houston versus a big chicken. They'll have the ghost of Michael Jackson. They'll have the Obama will show up. So it's funny humor, but it's also kind of dark carnival. Clowns will come out Sim Bodie himself. He's very dark, kind of scary-looking clown. So it's very unique. You have to have a taste for it. But if you just different kind of show, but be entertained and it's funny as well too. So it's not nothing that'll give you nightmares. It's just funny, dark humor.
So sorry about that.
No, you're good.
So do you guys have any belts or anything?
Yeah, they do have a belt. Funny Bone, as a wrestler, he holds the belt. I think it's the World Champion belt or Freak Show belt. I only got a chance to look at it. I'm still new to the company. I don't know that much about them still yet. But it has a bomb on the front of the title. It's a fake bomb, but it's a bomb. So it's kind of funny looking. But yeah, Funny Bone is their champion right now. So that's the only champion I do know about. So like I said, I'm still getting new to the company, but they got a lot of WWE celebrities that's gone through there too. Rikishi was the one in last year. I might be saying his name wrong. Garwin, the vampire from WWE back in the 90s. You know who I'm talking about?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Met him, know him. He was at the show last weekend. Who else we get? So he gets some of his celebrities that he knows from WWE to come down and wrestle. So if not, if anything, you can look at the flyer and you might see somebody you always wanted to meet and come down and check it out as well.
So I'm going to ask you a couple company names.
Okay.
And I would like to know if you would want to work for them, or would you like to get that chance to work with them?
Okay.
Like, for example, a company out your way, Pro Wrestling Guerrilla.
They in Cali?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I would love to wrestle for any company in Cali. I haven't heard really any bad thing about the California ones. There's the Santino brothers. There's Underground Empire. I've been talking to them for a little bit. Been trying to get with them. There's Hollywood Championship Wrestling. But yeah, there's a lot of great companies in Cali I would love to wrestle for. I would try to venture out and wrestle with them.
What about IWA Midwest?
I've heard about them a little bit. I don't have a problem wrestling with any company as long as they put on a good show and the person I'm wrestling, even if he's green or if he's a veteran, as long as he's in the right mind of, like we talked about earlier, respect and putting asses in the seats, not about him. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I would wrestle for any company because all I want to do is get experience, get out there, do what I love, and entertain people. So really, there isn't a company I wouldn't want to wrestle for.
No, I was just wondering if you would like to wrestle like in the East Coast, like the old ECW arena.
Oh yeah, that'd be awesome. I would love, because I think right now we have one of the old WCW rings here in FSW. But yeah, like I always wanted to wrestle in a six-sided ring, but I heard it's horrible to do. It's very hard to run this way, that way, and it's really small. But I just want to do it just to say that I've done it. I get a bucket list, and I just kind of try to mark off stuff.
So what is your bucket list?
My bucket list started off with, I wanted to do a hardcore match. I wanted to have a title. I wanted to go through a table, do a steel cage match, and go for the World Heavyweight title. Don't have to win it. I mean, I'd love to win it, try to win it, but I would love to go for that title. I have done a hardcore match. I have won 3 titles, Mid-Ohio, Television, and the High Octane I was telling you about earlier. And then I haven't done the table or the steel cage yet. Somehow, I always miss the steel cage show. I'll be with a company, and they're like, yeah, we're going to do a steel cage show in a couple months. I'm like, awesome, I'll be here. And then when that time comes, I either had to leave, or something happened, or the steel cage didn't happen, or something. I always miss out on the steel cage. I would love to do a steel cage match, though.
And you're talking about your bucket list, and I was interesting. And I forgot to ask the questions because you're going fast. What was your first list on that bucket list, and what you did, and who you did it with?
My hardcore match?
Yes.
My hardcore match was the loser leaves DCW, Dynamic Championship Wrestling. It was against Sean Draven. He is still with the company. He's been the World Heavyweight Champion a few times since I left, but before that, he wasn't. He was also one of my trainers for a little bit of time. That match was very interesting. I requested that match. I was leaving to go to basic training in 4 weeks, and I wanted a big bang. I wanted something where the crowd would remember me for, but at the same time, something that they wouldn't forget. So as I was going, I remember this match, like every little bit of it. If you don't mind, I can kind of go step by step.
Go ahead. This is your show.
All right. So as I was heading to the arena, I was calling the promoter, and I was like, hey, who can I wrestle? He's like, who do you want to wrestle? I was like, I want to wrestle Sean Draven. He goes, why? I was like, he is the baddest MFer that we have on the company, because when you wrestle him in a hardcore match, you're wrestling a bad dude, like hardcore Holly, like, you know, Terry Funk bad. Like, this guy loves to bleed, he loves to hurt people, and he isn't soft with his hits when it comes to kendo sticks and steel chairs. He hits you hard. And I wanted the full effect. So he's like, all right, dude, it's your funeral. Go ahead. So as I'm going to the show, I pass this road and I see an empty shopping cart just chilling in the road. And I have an F-150 at the time, so I stopped, threw the cart in the back of my truck and kept going. As I was going, I found this traffic cone. It was in the dumpster. Picked that out of the dumpster, threw it in the back of my truck. By the time I got to the show, I had a shopping cart full of weapons ready for the match. And so as I rolled in there at 5 o'clock, ready, you know, some of the guys saw me or whatever. They're like, "What's that for?" I was like, "A hardcore match." Like, "Don't tell nobody." So I put it behind the seats. So when it came time, I think we were the 4th or 5th match. I came out there or whatever, and you know, we go to lock up or whatever. He throws me in the corner, beats me down a little bit, gives me a mule kick. I slide to the outside. Gives me a couple more shots. I give him a couple more shots. Eventually, I work our way over where I grab a chair. I whack him a few times with the chair. I get him down, and I walk around the fans. I actually have this one on tape, so there's on VHS. I walk around the crowd, and I grab the shopping cart, and everyone's freaking out. Like, "What's he doing with the shopping cart?" I grab the shopping cart. I bring it over. I ram him in the ribs a couple times. I put it sideways. I kick him with it, and I throw it on the ground. I take everything out and I throw him on the ground. I throw the shopping cart on the ground. And I'm like, okay, I'm going to powerbomb this guy onto the shopping cart on the outside of the ring. It's a great idea. So I go to grab him. Nope. Go to grab him again. Nope. Picks me up, flips me over his head, and I slam onto the shopping cart and then onto a steel chair. So it was not fun on that part, but long story short, I got hit 13 times with a chair, 3 times in the head. I flipped onto the shopping cart, and then to lose the match, I got double stomped through the shopping cart. So if I could have went back, would I not picked up that shopping cart? I would still picked up that shopping cart.
Hey, it's pretty cool.
Right.
And I give you credit for doing it.
Yeah, I still got a bruise right here from the one chair shot, so that will always be a remembrance to that match.
So what's your second bucket list you did?
Winning a title. I just wanted to win a title, and like I said, I won 3 of them. I explained to you how I won my first one. Then after I lost that first one, I went on a losing streak for like 8 months. I just couldn't beat the guys. Like I tried and I tried and tried. And I think my problem was I was trying to be too nice. I wasn't doing the real me. So the owner gave me a manager, and the manager, he says he used to train Al Snow at one point in time, or manage Al Snow at one point in time. I don't know, ever knew if that was true or not. He had really no proof. Excuse me, I had really no proof to back that up. But he helped me out. I won my next title against Benjamin Boone. I don't know if you guys ever heard of him or not. He's in Ohio, northern Ohio. His cousin was in Transformers or something like that. She called him out in one of the WWE pay-per-views. That's how I know that. But I beat him. I believe I cheated maybe, or as I would say, I didn't cheat. I just took the opportunity to take the advantage of winning. But that was the Mid-Ohio belt. And then me and him went back and forth for a few months, winning, losing, and I finally held it for a while. And then we started getting on, I lost it, and we started getting on television, local broadcasting television there in Dayton, Ohio, and that's when I won the television title. I don't remember who I beat for the television title, but I had that television title for a long time. Actually, the company, they upgraded their belts, and I got to buy that title off of them, so I still own that title. I never technically lost the title. I was wrestling Big Jim Hutchison, and we did a spot where we did a double suplex, or he did the belly-to-back suplex to me, pinned me, but his shoulders were down too, so the belt got held up. Well, I went to the military. I came back 2 years later. I said, hey, what's up with the television title? Well, we're not on television no more. We don't use it no more. I was like, well, can I never technically lost it. Can I, buy it off you guys, or, what's going on? And they're like, yeah, sure. You can buy it off of us. The cheap price. It was like $100 like that. So I still today am the DCW television champion, and they can't take that away from me because I own it now.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
So what was your third list?
My third one, let's see, hardcore titles. Oh, going through a table. I haven't done that yet. I want to. I don't know why. I want to go through a table, and I know I'll lose when I go through the table, but I don't care. I just want to go through a table. Like I'm half tempted just to go to Home Depot and buy a table just to go through it, because somehow I still can't do a title match or a tables match yet. I ask and no one gave it to me. No one wants to, because they know how crazy I am that I want to do this. They're like, no, I don't want to do a match with you in a tables match. I'm like, well, why not? Like, because you're crazy. I'm like, well, this is true, but I still want to do a tables match. So I haven't done tables, haven't done steel cage, and I haven't got my world title shot yet, but I will. I have faith that the way I've been getting trained and by who I've been getting trained with, I will get my title, my world heavyweight title shot one day.
So if you had to pick your opponent for all these things you want to do, who would you want to face?
Well, I would love to. I'd love to wrestle my good friend Eric Fallon, who's wrestled for AIWF or First Class Wrestling. He's been trained by Cody Hawk. We're in the talks right now to do a coffin match or a table match in August in Ohio. I finally found somebody crazy enough to do a match with me. So that guy right there, he's crazy. We met at a IPWA in Ohio. We met at that wrestling show against each other, and he was a good competitor. I think we're tied right now 1-1, so that's why we want to wrestle each other. And we haven't wrestled each other for about 6 years. We haven't wrestled each other, so I told him, if we're going to wrestle each other, let's do something big, a big match. So we're trying to do a coffin match. But I mean, a coffin match is kind of like TLC, so I maybe get my table in there somewhere. So it'd be really cool if I could do that. So, more to come on that. I'll let you know. But definitely Eric Fallon, he would be the guy that I would do those matches. Actually, all of them. Steel cage, world title. He's my best friend, but he's also my worst enemy. We always kid around. We used to be roommates. He was Batman. I'm Joker. So we love to hate each other. We can't kill each other because we'd be useless without each other. So.
Well, I seen you came back from an injury, and I don't like to jinx anybody about their injury, and you had a match with somebody, and somebody came out and attacked you. So can you tell our listeners about that?
Well, I got injured during practice with my head trainer, Michael Modest. He was trying to teach me multiple ways to do high key lock into different moves, and I don't know what happened. I over-rotated, I guess. I over-rotated and I landed on my right shoulder, all my weight, and it tore 2 of my 3 ligaments in my shoulder. The one that connects your collarbone to your shoulder, the one that connects your arm to your collarbone, or both were completely shredded. But the only one that was keeping it together was the one closest to my chest. That one was the only one that was still together. And I was out for 4 months with that. Couldn't move my arm, and slowly I started to be able to use my arm. Went to physical therapy, started lifting weights. I'm talking 3 pounds. I started with 3 pounds, and it's been a year. Yeah, it's been a year now, because I started last June. It's been an entire year. And now I have full movement. I can do everything. I've been benching up to the 250 range now. And so it's totally healed. No surgery, just physical therapy, and been good to go. But, yeah, injuries suck, but, it's part of the business, part of the wrestling. So.
I give you respect for not quitting. You wanted to come back, and I respect you for doing it.
Yeah, my wife kind of tried to talk me out of it. My dad tried to talk me out of it. A few people tried to talk me out of it. Military tried to talk me out of it. But like I said from the beginning, I'll keep doing this till the day I die. And if I get lucky enough to die in the ring doing something really cool, well then it's a plus. But I'll never stop. I'll never stop.
So what was that? I seen it on your Facebook that you did come back, and somebody attacked you after the match.
Oh yeah. Okay, yeah. Kevin Cross, a little toll techer, Kevin Cross. I don't know if you guys seen him or not. He's been doing a rampage. Funny story is I actually started training him when he came to FSW. I was helping him out, teaching him, because in FSW we have head trainers, but we get a lot of people or times busy where they're not always there. Well, they are there, or we stay after. Like Kevin used to stay after, and I would train him some extra stuff. And it's kind of crappy that he kind of turned on me once I got back, but he thought he was bigger and better than me and took me out. But I got revenge. I attacked him back, and Jake Cash, the guy I wrestled with, came out to help me out as well. So I've been talking to the promoter to try to get a tag match going on with me and Jake Cash versus him and whoever else he wants. So he's a good guy. He's a very talented wrestler. He's trying to make a name for himself. And I guess a way to make a name for himself was to attack Max Falcon. So, you do what you got to do. The old me, the Nate the Great, as I used to be called, or Random Hero, would applaud and do the same exact thing he would do. And, there's good guys and there's bad guys in the wrestling business. And either way, you got to make a name for yourself, and that's just his way of doing it. So I will get my revenge on him, or I will get my chance to get him back. I got a little bit, but I'll get him again. But he just went to Japan and wrestled in Japan for 4 days, and he just got back, and he just took out Tyshawn Prince, one of our former world heavyweight champions. So, like I said, he has a lot on his plate, but he shouldn't forget about Max Falcon. I'm still here for now, so, but, yeah.
Nate, I would like to see that match. That'd be cool to see.
Yeah, we'll see. Like I said, I'm only here for a little bit, and then I go over to Germany and hopefully wrestle over there. So I'll come back, and by that time he might come over to Germany and wrestle me. I don't know. He goes all around the world on now, so it wouldn't be hard for him to come over there and wrestle me. But I'll get my day. Like I said, I've been in this business long enough where it's kind of like the military. It's small. You eventually wrestle the people you want to wrestle, or get the people that wronged you at some way.
So if you wanted you want to promo anything or anything?
No, right now there's not really anything to promo. Like I said, I'm just kind of bouncing around these different companies, and I just want to make sure I get the companies out there, as much as possible, promote, paying my dues. Paying my dues would be, promoting these different companies and making sure and promoting my friends and the fellow wrestlers that have worked just as hard as I have, or worked even harder, and don't get the appreciation that they deserve. So I'm honored that you guys asked me to do this and wanted me to do this, and hopefully I can give you guys some good people just as good as me on here to get this to keep going, because you guys are living the dream just as much as I am.
And maybe next week you'll be my special guest or my special host.
All right. We'll see. Like I said, let me talk to some of my people, my fellow wrestlers, and see if I can get one of them on here. I know a few that would definitely love to do this. So we can go from there.
So you have any merchandise, anything that you want to sell, try to push over?
I don't right now, unfortunately. I had a T-shirt for a while when I was a heel. I sold all of them. I was in a process with the Max Falcon. I was trying to make dog tags, but I got hurt, and so I kind of put it on the back burner because I got hurt. I had some photos. I sold them, but I just now got back, and then I immediately going to Germany, so I don't have anything right now, but If you guys do, for the listeners out there, if you guys do see me at any of the shows, don't hesitate to come up to me, take pictures, sign stuff, whatever. I will do it. I won't pay, I won't charge you anything. I ain't one of those kind of, superstars. Oh, it's gonna be $1, kid. Give me $10. Whatever. I will kiss the babies, shake the hand, sign the autographs.
I heard that.
Yeah.
Same before.
Yeah.
So I want to ask you one quick question.
All right.
I know this one crazy guy,
Okay.
and he thinks everything's around him.
Okay.
So let's say you're wrestling a great match for the title, and some squirrely bird tries to get in the ring. How would you feel?
Are we talking like another wrestler?
A fan.
Well, as I was just watching the old school WCW when NWO just started, a fan got in the ring, and Scott Hall stomped the crap out of him to get him out of the ring. The number one rule for fans is don't get in the ring. You're not qualified. You didn't sign a release form. You enter in your own risk. Depending on what that fan's attempt is to do, if I'm in the middle of a match and a fan slides in, if he tries to attack me or attack somebody, I have all the right in the world to attack him back. There's no disrespect or to be a bad guy or be a heel, but unfortunately, you don't belong in the ring. If you want to be in the ring, then go to training and do what I did to get in the ring, but don't just jump a fence or jump a guardrail and try to get in the ring. We have security that should stop people from doing that, but if they do somehow get in the ring, they're on their own risk.
Sorry about that. My computer went on a flick. You know how that happens.
Yeah. I think we're getting a thunderstorm here, so.
Yeah, well, I got one or two more questions, and I'm going to let you go for tonight.
Okay.
And
shoot.
The one question, how can I see you? I'm on the East Coast. How can I see Max Falcon on a show?
Right now, you can see me on my Facebook page, Max Falcon's Facebook page, based in Las Vegas, or we have the FSW High Octane channel. You can go on Future Stars of Wrestling Facebook page. They have. We're on the CW, I believe. Yes, we're on CW, and we have our own YouTube and Twitter and all that. I'm on there sometimes. But yeah, you can. Go to the FSW Future Stars of Wrestling webpage or Facebook page and find their video, and that's how you can find me as of right now. Next month, I'm going to be back in Ohio, and I'll be wrestling for DCW Dynamic Championship Wrestling. And they also have a YouTube page and a Facebook page, just like that, so you can see me on there. But I will try to post as much matches as I can on my own page. But until then, those are the places you probably can see me.
And so how can our listeners follow Max? You?
Like I said, add me on Facebook, on the Max Falcon. I've add mostly any fan, as long as we have some mutual fans. So if you guys know anybody that I might know, or you don't look like a computer scam, or some chick just wanting my phone number, which appreciate it, ladies, but I'm married. But just add me on Facebook at Max Falcon, and you'll see all my friends' wrestling companies. If you're on the East Coast, I have some shows that I know, people I know on the East Coast or the West Coast or the Middle East, or wherever you're at, I know somebody. So just add me on Facebook. That's the best thing right now.
All right, that is the wrap. And I thank you for being on the show tonight. And maybe we'll have you on at future time.
Cool. Is it all right if I promote some of the wrestling companies that are coming up this month?
Not a problem. The floor is yours.
All right. I just want to do a shout out to, like I said, DCW Dynamic Championship Wrestling. They have their next show on July 18th at the VFW Arena in Springfield, Ohio. Definitely go check out those guys. You will not be disappointed The Freak Show Wrestling, like I was talking about, that I will be at, will be in East LA. It is on the July 4th. You can also go on my page. I posted it all up on there. FSW, we have a Fan Appreciation Day on July 18th as well. It's going to be at our FSW Arena. I will definitely be wrestling there. Maybe I'll get a chance at Kevin Cross on that. And then my buddy Eric Fallon, he'll be wrestling at AIWF, or First Class Wrestling, in Franklin, Ohio. And every Friday they have a show. And he is a bad dude. He's not someone to mess with, but he's very entertaining to watch as well. So those are my shout-outs I wanted to give out to some of the wrestlers. Also to Nick and Greg Romero, if they're still wrestling. And to Big Man Zach, and to the Irish Airborne, Dave and Jay Chris. Thank you guys. And thank you for the podcast for giving me the opportunity here to do this interview and to do some shout-outs. I really appreciate it.
And thank you again, because I think you're a respectful wrestler.
Thank you, sir. I appreciate it.
And have a good night.
Thank you.
That's the wrap.